When the Boondocks debuted in 2005, I remember it like yesterday. It was everywhere. Everybody was talking about it. And we fell in love with the show because of the background of the characters. I know I respected it the most because they had at least some roots in Chicago. But by the time it relaunched, the show failed. And I believe that the show failed for particular reasons, even though everybody has their own reason. I will say the show failed because it lost its connection with the culture, and later on, when it relaunched, it tried too hard. For instance, when it first came out, there was an episode where somebody stepped on somebody else's shoe. It was two black dudes, and one of them or both of them pulled out guns and they started shooting at each other. And I don't think either of them got hit. It was hilarious though, because we all know somebody in our neighborhood that when they get a new pair of Jordans or white Air Force Ones and you step on them, you better be prepared for a fight. And so we could relate with that. But later on, the show got weird. For instance, we knew that the grandfather on the show had money. And he had at least some money to live where they were. He wasn't necessarily rich, but he wasn't doing too bad. But by season 4, they made him broke, and that didn't sit well with me, and I don't think it connected well with the audience at all, because that was a big part of his identity. And when they started making him do odd jobs to get money, and I'm talking about Robert Freeman, the grandfather, they started making him do odd jobs to get money, compromising his own moral beliefs and things of this nature. And I respected him. We just didn't see him that way. And so for them to present him that way to us and make us lose the kind of respect that we had found for him. Now, this is a cartoon character. I get this. But in this world, within the Boondocks, we respected him to a certain degree to be who he was. And we knew that he had had money problems before, like not major money problems, but it wasn't something where it was the focus of the entire show. And that's what season 4 was about. It was about Robert Freeman trying to get back after being broke or coming up broke, whatever it was. That didn't connect well with the show. And I think that's primarily one of the reasons that it failed. It just didn't draw the audience in. We didn't feel his story. It wasn't the story that we knew from him. And even if the story is going to evolve, we don't want it to crumble. And that's why we have things and shows that stay static. They stay static because if you change them too much within a cartoon, the cartoon itself will fail. You just don't make certain changes within the show. And this is happening right now, for example, with Solar Opposites. And you see that falling apart with the changing of the voices. But anyway, that's a totally different story. I believe that the Boondocks had a fair chance of coming back and being one of the greatest cartoons ever. It actually is one of the greatest cartoons ever. And I think it could reestablish that title if they stuck to the roots that got them where they were and not expand into identities that were not part of the show to begin with, and then impose those identities onto main characters that we care about. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. Thank you for tuning into the animated review. Subscribe.